My name is Raymond Blanc. I'm a chef patron of Le Manoir 4 Saisons in Boissy Blanc. And I have worked with Kenwood for the past 46 years. I started in a tiny little place called Les 4 Saisons, and I had a Kenwood machine, which was about 35 years of age, and it still worked. And I had a 1906 oven with no bottom. That's how I started my little business. And of course it has grown to be what it is today, a center of excellence. Today we are going to do a little, very simple little recipe called Madeleine. I love this recipe because Madeleine are sweet little cake, which are very beautifully shaped. And they're shaped in this mould, as you can see, And they've got this beautiful little scallop shelf, here, which is rather lovely. And there's a reason why, and we'll find out later when we cook them. But the story is that way back in 1750 something, 54, a Polish king met Voltaire, and Voltaire invited him in his friends. And in his friends, there was a lady called Madeleine, who was a great cook, like Raymond Blanc. And this cook decided to create something very new for him. And she created these little cakes, Madeleine. I think you will like them too. The story of these Madeleines is rather beautiful, and I can show you the Madeleines themselves will be just as delicious. And you can bring into them any perfume you want to, from orange to lemon, pistachio, and we'll do a few varieties as well for you, And it is so simple because what you have only a few ingredients: eggs, flour, and baking powder inside, which will lighten the Madeleine, the mix, sugar, of course, for sweetness, a bit of honey, Manuka honey, from actually Tregos, and butter, So what we're going to do first is to melt the butter. So very simply, always, see, I put on one here, so I make sure that I don't burn my butter. Just as a nice precaution. I've got my eggs, and look, these eggs are not just eggs, they are very specials. Here you've got a lion here, and it's got nothing to do, with the Champion League of rugby, France, England, nothing at all. It means that these hens have been vaccinated against salmonella, so it makes it safe to give a chocolate mousse made with raw egg white to your child. It's good to know. And then you have the number here, which is 1. 1, that's what here, which means free range, Then you have another number, the farm. If something goes wrong, you can connect with the farm, and then, of course, sell by date. So you got quite a lot of information. I never do it directly into the bowl, because if you have lost a little bit of shell and you have to look for it all around, it's not a good idea. So now, here. Now, sugar. Honey, a little bit of that beautiful honey, a teaspoon somewhere, yes, home sweet home. I've been isolating for about now 2 months, so it's nice to talk to someone, voila, just lovely. Yeah, some zest of lemon. So the space is one go. There's not too many steps in this recipe. That's what's so lovely about it. So of course there you could, later on I will show you how to add pistachio and other flavoring as well. Voilà. Très bien, so up. Très bien. And now we're going to whisk effectively. Voilà. Light it was. That is wonderful precision of this machine. If you look at this whisk, it is just 2 millimeters away from the side. It's so close. So it brings a lot of air inside, so to lighten them up. So while this is going on, I want to show you, rather than to use the essence of vanilla, why don't you make your own? It's so much nicer beautiful flavor, so real, totally authentic. And on the top of that, you've got a wonderful texture of these millions of little stars of vanilla, which would have been completely emulsified, broken down in here. So we're going to try, see you. So it's very simple. You have your vanilla. Remove that's a hard bits, okay, and then you just brilliant. So then I've done sugar, 50% sugar, 50% water. So cool it down. You pour it through here, about 70 grams roughly, yes, plenty, yes. Now all what you have to do is that. And voila. And then we're going to do an extraordinary, amazing puree of vanilla. So we're going to stop the machine. Move this here and place our grinder here. Voila. Très bien. Very nice and tidy. And what is wonderful, this grinder can do everything, every single sauce, some beautiful spices, grinding spices. It's really making some à la minute juices and so on. It's really brilliant and so useful. It's my favorite gadget actually, with a spaghetti machine, with definitely. So voilà. Here you have millions of tiny little stars of vanilla, which pops as well. Very lovely texture, that's the flavor. And also you can keep it maybe a month, 2 months in your fridge, no problem, because the sugar, of course, is a natural preservative. So, worth knowing, not if we have the best here, the best vanilla. And of course, the best is from Tahiti or Madagascar. That's the two best provenance tests. Not yet in England. We would love to, but not yet. Yeah? So lovely. Look how fine it is. Look, this puree. Completely tiny little grain. Tiny. Real vanilla, fantastic. You make sure it's perfect. You don't waste anything at all. Yeah? So it's a fantastic little gadget here. Okay, and I'm going to add a good lump. And voila. So now I'm going to add the flour. Voila. It's going to give a perfect mix now. It's normal, it's quite a wet mix, okay? It's quite loose, that's why we need to refrigerate it for about 2 hours before using it, either piping it or using a teaspoon and molding your beautiful Madeleine. Voilà, that is a smooth mix, that's okay. We'll use a little bit of that, very little, to just really a very thin film of butter, tiny, okay, onto the molds, and we're going to refrigerate them, voila, to make sure. Although they're anti-stick, so it should be right, but you never know. So now, we're going to add the butter. So again, if you really want a much more stronger flavor, more nutty, you can make the butter go noisette. That's what noisette means, that the solid particles of the butter, i.e. the whey of the milk, are browning through a certain heat, lasting 153 degrees, okay, and giving that lovely nutty flavor. Then you strain it. But this is what we're going to do. Keep it absolutely plain. Beautiful mix now, perfectly smooth. Okay, and that's ready to cool down now. You know what is fantastic about this whisk? there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 different spirals. That's why it's so complete. That's why it's able to aerate the mix so well, the food that you mix, you whisk. Okay, so that is serious. It does good. So now I'm going to divide my mix into 2. Okay, très bien. Oh, lovely! Look at that, how beautiful. Just a little bit, about 20 grams of pistachio paste. This is made with marzipan, of course, pistachio grounded, of course, and the coloring, of course, some natural coloring as well to go into it. So it's very simple. You add a little bit. Okay, here I'm going to do it by hand. This one. Start with. This will make a bit less noise. More stable, more under control, et voilà. And all what you have to do is to finish it off very nicely. So that we're going to cool it down and pipe it later. Okay, of course you can do it by hand, but again you've got much more control on how much you put into these beautiful shells. After 2 hours, we just need to bake them. That's all. It's that simple. Now my mix for my madeleine is ready. Okay, it's never a thick mix. Okay, it's very, very soft. Okay, et voilà. Nice to fit, voila. So I can put my beautiful très bien, hop. Et voilà. So obviously to leave it mostly overnight would be even better. Voilà. So just it would be good. Okay, up. It's easier so it doesn't slide all over the place. So don't put too much into it, just enough, about half of the size, okay. Otherwise, it would overflow completely the side, and it would be very pretty. So that's going to really puff out quite considerably. You'll be surprised. Voila. Et voilà. Do at least 4 dozens, at least. Okay, to have a really serious feast for my friends. But I'm afraid again I'm going to give those to my neighbors, very close. But you see, they're simple enough to make. So now let's cook them. I like to have a stone. Voila, and that will take about 7 minutes at 180-degree temperature. Voila. They look quite gorgeous. And they're ready to be taken out. Obviously the oven is not the best, but we do with what we have. Okay, so and you have a lovely, gorgeous Madeleine here. But that's clever. You know what is really fascinating? That's way back in 1750, whatever it was, that they had designed a mould which would actually bring all the steam towards the middle, because that cooks first. That part cooks first, so that compresses the heat. You know, and the deeper part is here, pushing the little hump. So effectively, the mold is very, very smart. It has an extraordinary role here. It's lovely to see. Thank you very much, my friend. Lovely, excellent. I'm going to put them back in the oven just for 1 minute or so, just to give a little crust outside. And that is a little trick which gives this beautiful little madeleine more than what you see. Beautiful textures as well. So that will give a gorgeous crisp. When they'll be tapered, that will give a lovely crust, okay? And that makes a big difference as well. Obviously, you can put pistachios inside, whatever, almonds, whatever you wish, really. Butter, I found them just beautiful as they are. There's always one or two who decide not to go ahead. Et voila, gorgeous little shapes. Such an easy little dessert. You know, you can make it as cake as well if you want to. You can bake it into a mold and have really some fun. And they look beautiful. Hope you enjoy them.